Hello and welcome to GadgetGuideUSA. Thanks for watching my BOBOVR Z4 virtual reality glasses product review. As you can see here, we have them in the box. This was sent to me for review by a store named Duomishu. The manufacturer is OYOVR, OYOVR. Overall, of course, I'm simulating an unboxing. I've already played with these for quite a few hours and have been very impressed. I own about 5 different sets of virtual reality glasses. I kind of jumped on with the bandwagon early. Oh, I forgot to talk about the outside of the box. That's pretty much what you saw. Just a Z4 virtual reality glasses, says BOBOVR on them. So we're just going to go ahead and get rid of that and get into them. So there's the BOBOVR manual. One side's in Mandarin and the other side is in English. You can tell that, I mean, some of the verbiage they use is kind of tough. It's completely understandable and everything, but just, you know, some of the stuff I didn't really understand what they were trying to get at, like insert phone correctly according to the following picture, use card slot to locate the phone, no need to locate when second use. Didn't really figure out what that meant, but at the same time, if you just ignore it, you're going to be fine. It tells you how to put it on, how to adjust them, how to do everything. So the most important thing you're going to find is this little QR code. Of course, these use your phone, an Android phone or an iOS device or whatever, to do virtual reality. So to make sure that you scan this so that your phone fits the headset perfectly. So it does make a difference. When I didn't scan the code, it was the screen was cut off on the edge. Scan the code, fits perfectly. I tried it with S5 and then an LG G3 and then an S6. Of course, the LG G3 and the S6 were about the same, but the S5 didn't provide as great experience as the other ones. So that's the manual. It's pretty much what you'd expect. And we're going to go ahead and open it up. This is how it's shipped to me. It's well protected with tons of styrofoam, and I'm not going to say we like that, but at the same time, it definitely got here protected. Wrapped in a protective bag, and it comes with a lens cleaning cloth for this. Of course, I already have it set to my proper size. You can adjust everything with these Velcro straps. I don't want to lose my spot because I have it set perfectly so I can watch 2-hour movies comfortably. And in addition, you have sets on the side so you can control the distance and the overhead distance. But overall, very comfortable. I have, like I said, this is my 5th pair of VR headset goggles. I have a couple, I can't remember the brand name. The first 2 I bought didn't have a major feature that was missing, which is this action button. When you push this button, I'm going to go ahead and show it to you here. This doesn't open all the way. Oh, push button. You can actually see this thing jumping out right there. And what that is, that's a small magnet that simulates a touch screen. There's lots of games that you absolutely cannot play without being able to touch the screen. And once we lock our phone in there, we really can't touch the screen at all. So I call it an action button, interaction button, push button, whatever you want to call it, but that's absolutely required. The first 2 pair of 3D goggles I was sent did not have this action button, which essentially made them worthless for, you know, a third or half the games available on the Play Store. Just to mention, you do need a Bluetooth remote control to play a large portion of the game. I got one for around $10, but I would suggest spending more because I'm not very happy with my $10 controller, but that'll be a different review. But this is definitely my favorite set by far. I have a set of Ream 3 I keep in the studio, and this was my favorite pair. And I mean, these other ones are lightweight, they're great, they have the action button. But see, on this one you have to push the action button forward with your thumb, where this one you just push up. It's a lot more convenient to push. And but these were my favorite until I got these. These aren't bad, and I haven't done a product review though, and I'm not planning on it. But I was just saying that I do have a huge experience with this VR. The first movie that I've watched from end to end for a full 2 hours was in these goggles last night. And so they're actually comfortable enough to wear for 2 hours, and I didn't get any headaches or anything like that. And I think it comes down to the size of these eyepieces. I haven't been able to figure it out. Or maybe it's the interpupillary distance adjustments, which I'm going to show you. But if you notice how large these are, those are huge, and it doesn't block any of your view. So when I put my eyes up to there, everything I'm seeing is 3D. On my other favorite pair, which I'm not trashing these at all, these were my favorite pair up until now, but see how the eye is kind of a square and a little bit smaller? It just, I feel, I didn't realize it when I was wearing them before, but it cuts off a small portion of the top of the screen and the bottom of the screen and kind of destroys some of the immersion. So I wasn't very happy, well actually I was happy with it until I knew how much better it was having these wide round lenses with, you know, no problems. Some of the other handy features about this are is the sight and distance adjustment. See, when I spin this, it actually changes the distance there. And while it won't help people that are farsighted, people that are nearsighted and wear glasses, if you're under a certain amount, you know, of course, if you're extremely nearsighted, it may not work. But if you're really nearsighted, then you can actually take off your glasses and wear these without glasses. I don't wear glasses, but my wife does, and she said, you know, she doesn't like VR because she has to wear glasses, and she said it looks funny. But she was able to wear these for a little bit over 20 minutes. She's not a big VR person, but she tested it out for me, and she said, yes, you can wear these with being nearsighted and not use your glasses at all. So she said that was a really neat feature. Wasn't enough to bring her on board the VR train, but hey, I tried. So not only does it have this sight adjustment if you're nearsighted or just for comfort, it also has inner pupillary adjustment. I'm going to go ahead and pull that there, and as I spin this thing you can actually see. So of course some people's eyes are farther apart than others. I actually found the other pair that I had, I thought that was perfect, but it turns out that my eyes are a little bit farther apart than I expected, I guess. I don't know. But it does actually make a big difference as you adjust this. You'll notice that it's curved, so to get the maximum 3D experience, you can actually adjust the distance between your eyes. In addition, you can adjust the sight distance, which actually makes things a lot more comfortable and prevents me from getting sick. I used to be able to use my favorite pair. I just wouldn't wear it for over 40 or 45 minutes because I'd start feeling kind of bad. With these properly adjusted, I watched my first 2-hour VR movie. It was Jurassic World. I know it's not a great movie, but in VR, it actually made a big difference. So I would definitely recommend watching Jurassic World using VR and not through standard, through the standard screen, which wasn't a good movie. It has this push button, so it snaps in, and I don't have my LG G3 that I actually use for 3D. I have my daily use Samsung S5, which I've broken many times, but my LG G3 is the one I actually normally use for VR. We've went over all the adjustments, and it's extremely comfortable. One of the best things about it is this right here. And I know it seems like such a small thing, but my other pair actually has it's attached to it. So I thought, hey, that does add comfort to it. But when you unattach and add it to this, see how there's straps on both sides, it gives it a lot more comfort. This actually sits on the top of your head, and it has this padding here, extremely comfortable padding, to give you so you can sit there for 2 hours. So in addition to the inner pupillary distance and the comfort, I was actually able to watch the full movie, which I really enjoy. The next thing we're going to talk about is this audio pieces. You can actually see they're adjustable. These fit my head perfectly. I will admit, I let a friend of mine try them, and his head is smaller than mine, and he wears glasses. He said it was great, the fact that he could adjust this and not have to wear his glasses to look at the VR, and that it was comfortable. But his head was smaller, so these didn't fit perfectly. So I guess if you have a small head, it's a downside. I told him we could bend these. If he owned them, we could just bend it. But at the same time, they're mine. I didn't want him to bend them. So if you have a regular size head, or I guess I might have a big watermelon head. So if you got a big head, they'll fit better. But overall, the only downside was that his ears, it just wasn't a tight fit. He could still hear everything, and he's just, I guess he's a whiner. I don't know. But overall, basically, all you do is you go there and you start your Google Cardboard app, you start your Google Cardboard app or whatever you want to play. Of course, I have VR on this phone as well. I do use it for VR, but the LG G3 is better than the Samsung 5. So essentially, that's what you get. You then lock it into the screen, and it has this nice little convenient clip here. And then you take this, which actually does the sound. Mine's on top. My LG G3 has it on bottom. Alright, so you just want to make sure that you line up the dead center of the screen with that, and you snap it closed. It's that simple. Now, of course, you're not going to get a full VR experience through the camera, but you can kind of see that it is in fact working. Like I said, one of the most important things when you buy a VR headset, even if you choose not to buy this and you buy another one, make sure it has this action button so you can touch the screen. Like if you play a game like Duck Hunt, there's no way to shoot except touching the screen. So once you lock it up in this headset without this interaction button, you're not going to be able to play Duck Hunt. You're not going to be able to play a lot of gun games. So after you make sure you have the interaction button, the second thing I'm going to recommend is getting a Bluetooth controller. There's many of these games that work with tilting and the action button, and it works fine, but there's some games where they require you to run around, and for that you're going to need a Bluetooth controller. I have one. I'm not going to recommend it, so I'm not going to bring it out here. But I would recommend you spend at least $20 for a good Bluetooth controller. I have like a little keychain size one, and it's just terrible. Oh, not to forget that when you're actually using the VR, you can actually answer your phone with the glasses. It's not something that... Oh, okay, so it's not terrible, but it's not great either. Kind of, you get a call, you can actually tap this to answer the phone, and it does it through this. So, I tested the function just to make sure it works, and it does. But at the same time, while I'm watching a movie, I want you to leave me alone. I'm not going to answer. But a lot of people aren't as, as big a jerk as I am, so they'll probably answer the phone. At any point in time, you can just, you have your volume up, your volume down. You can just click that. To answer the phone. Of course, the microphone's a little bit muffled, but they can still hear you because there's these gaps here, so they can still understand what you're saying. And of course, their volume comes out of the earpieces. So that's just another handy thing. If while you're watching a VR movie or enjoying a good VR game, somebody gives you a call, you can just give it a good tap to answer. But overall, this is definitely a comfortable headset. They don't recommend you watch 2-hour movies because, a lot of people get sick. But if you adjust this, the interpupillary distance right, you adjust the distance right, and you get used to watching VR for long periods, you can watch a full movie. But I've only been able to watch a full movie so far using this headset. But overall, very solid. I was very impressed. The only complaint I really have is this foam right here. It's just your standard foam. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in there. This is just your padded foam, and I guess I'm a sweaty guy, and it's starting to smell a little funny. So I don't like that. So I do wish that had some type of coating like this, but really, I did wear it. I have watched it for over 10 hours, and I was kind of sweating when I was watching the movie, I guess. So it smells, not bad, but you can definitely tell that somebody has worn it. So I don't like that. So if they fixed this foam padding and maybe added some type of coating to it, that would be better, but at the same time, this foam padding is extremely comfortable, so I'm not really sure what to recommend they do. In addition, it also has volume controls, and that actually, you can separately control the volume. You can actually, if you hear it right now, I'm actually pushing the volume up and down. And basically what it is it's just like a volume control that you would find on like a Bluetooth speaker or something. So you can control the volume right here. You have your action button right here, all your distance. Really solid. But these are definitely awesome. They work with all the Google Cardboard apps. They work with all the VR apps and the YouTube side-by-side 3D movies and all that. So this is definitely a good way to go. Hope you enjoyed my product review today on the BOBOVR Z4 with headphones, virtual reality. Like I said, they were sent to me by a store called Duomishu. Just to be clear, on the Amazon listing, they don't have BOBOVR Z4 like they do on the package. The Amazon listing says newest 3D VR reality glasses with headphones, can answer phone, 120-degree field of view for 3D movies, games, compatible with smartphones within 6.2 inches, which I didn't have a large enough phone to test, but like I said, I tried with the S6, the S5, and the LG G3. It worked fine. Comments are always welcome at the bottom of the page. Subscriptions are always appreciated, thank you. And if you have any specific questions, comments, or suggestions, please email me at GadgetGuideUSA@gmail.com. Thank you for your time.